It's day 61 of our Great Southwest van trip. After spending a few wonderful days in Big Bend National Park, we're going to leave the park today and drive to Pint and Plow Brewing Company. It was a nice brewery, but didn't have a lot of cider options. And somehow I got talked into drinking a cider that cost $36 for the bottle. So I'm not real sure that I enjoyed it as much because I thought when he said you had to get it by the bottle, I was thinking little bottle, not like huge bottle and expensive. But anyway, we enjoyed our time here and we headed to a Cracker Barrel. We would boondock for the night. It's early Sunday morning and we're up before 7 a.m. to make the drive to Austin, Texas. We're driving to Franklin's BBQ today. It's one of the top barbecue places in the country and there are long wait lines. Franklin BBQ started in 2009. Texas Monthly now describes it as serving the best barbecue in the known universe. I couldn't imagine if the wait was going to be worth it, but it was super excited to see how things are going to pan out today. Then you'll see the line goes all the way back there. As you just heard, it was super loud inside, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover. I would say that the wait outside was really not that bad. They had the chairs all stacked up, probably like 100 chairs that we sat in as we waited. And then once we got closer to time to go inside, we put all the chairs back and everybody tightened up the line. So it wasn't too long before we actually were able to get inside. While we were waiting in line, they did come around and start to take our orders. They just wanted an idea of how much they were going to have of everything and if it was going to be enough. They actually had the beef ribs today, which they don't have every day, and Chuck and I were right on the verge of the cutoff of being able to get the beef rib or not. Once you're at the front of the line, it's really nice that the person who takes your order is the one who's cutting the meat up. So I wanted lean brisket sandwich, and so she was very careful about giving me the lean brisket meat that I wanted. It's kind of funny because I don't think anybody else orders the brisket sandwich, but the brisket sandwich turned out to be amazing. The other great thing is the beef rib. We were lucky enough to be able to get the beef rib. She charged us for 0.8 pounds, so it was $30.45 for the beef rib. My brisket sandwich was $17. Chuck also got a quarter pound of brisket, that was $8.50, and a quarter pound of pulled pork, which was $7, and a jalapeno sausage as well. And then we added tips and the drinks, and it came to a total of $85.60. They only have 3 sides: potato salad, slaw, and pinto beans, none of which I'm excited about. And most people weren't getting the sides, they were just getting plates of meat. But the meat plates do come with your choice of bread, so Chuck was able to get a couple of pieces of bread on the side to go with all of his meat. By the time we finally paid for our food and were able to sit down, it was about 12:15. That was a total wait time of about 3 hours. So was it going to be worth it? I have to say it was absolutely worth it. I would wait in line and do this again. The food was just amazing. The beef rib, the best thing on the plate. We left Franklin's totally stuffed and happy, and we drove over to our next stop, Austin East Ciders. We left there and our next stop was Pint House Brewing, which had not been on our list. However, they had something called the electric jellyfish. They had been selling it for $15 a can at Franklin's. So Chuck found it where the brewery was, so we headed over to that and paid $21.32 for a 4-pack, and he said it was really good. After the brewery, we made our drive to Waco, Texas. Here we plan to just explore the city a little bit, see what it has to offer, before finding our boondocking spot for the night at a Cracker Barrel. Today we're going to explore more of Waco, Texas. Our first stop this morning is the Waco Mammoth National Monument. From there we're going to the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum, and then we're going to Magnolia Market, the home of the Chuck and Joanna Gaines Empire. Waco National Monument was established in 2015. We paid $12 to take about an hour-long tour of the monument. In 1978, a couple of men went to search for arrowheads and fossils near the riverbank. To their surprise, they stumbled upon a large bone. After research was done, the bone was found to be a femur bone from a Columbian mammoth. This now extinct species lived during the Ice Age and inhabited North America from southern Canada to as far south as Costa Rica. Quickly after its discovery in 1978, volunteers began excavation of the site to preserve the fossil material. While a lot of the excavated animals through 1990 are now housed at the Baylor University's Mayborn Museum complex, most of the fossil specimens excavated since then remain in their original positions. These specimens have been protected in recent years by a climate-controlled dig shelter, allowing for both public viewing and further scientific studies. Scientists discovered that the entire herd died at one time. One of the first hypotheses is that maybe they were perished in a flash flood, or maybe there was water that they drank out of that was poisonous and it killed them all. So how the mammoths died is still a mystery. So here we are at the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame Museum. Okay, so the museum here is huge. It's like really big. There's a 45-minute movie. It starts at 11. It's 10:30. In the late 1800s, rangers were charged to protect Texas from Indian and bandit raids. Later, their focus shifted from frontier defense to keeping order in the new settlements. In 1935, the state issued badges to the Texas Rangers. This talks about rangers on the border back in the early 1900s. Rangers in politics, the Indians, Prohibition, outlaws, Texas Revolution. I mean, this place is huge. Look at this. There's a room all about movies. I think you're supposed to put on stuff and get your picture made, Chuck. Right there. The Lone Ranger. I used to love the Lone Ranger. Oh, look, here's a whole section on the Lone Ranger. Oh, the whole thing. Ayou Silver. This is all about the Lone Ranger. And Tonto. There was a really nice Hall of Fame area on the way in to see the movie. The movie was 45 minutes, and I will say it was super old. It really needed to be updated, but it provided a really great history on the Rangers. Our next stop is to visit the Magnolia Empire, created by Chuck and Joanna Gaines, from the HGTV show Fixer Upper. Oh, you are here. Explains like the whole thing. Magnolia Market, silos, home, coffee, seed and supply, baking company, and the shops. A lot of stuff here. They purchased the silo property in 2015, and now we heard it was like a huge empire. Press, home, shops. This is inside. Look at the line. It's insane. Crazy. Like all on the oh, I should make a picture. Coffee. Established in 2003. The home store. This may be good. This is inside the home store. Alright, so the church looks cool. This is the CHIP approved store. So it has all the guy stuff. Chuck likes this store. It's really amazing at how much stuff is on this property. They moved a historic church here even, and it's super cute. Magnolia Table is their signature restaurant. It's located about 8 minutes away from the silos. But at the silos, they have a takeaway location called Magnolia Table at Concessions. We heard the biscuits are supposed to be absolutely fabulous. And that's not all there is to eat and drink here. You can go to the Magnolia Press, which is their coffee shop. You can go to the food trucks, which they have a variety of. And then they have the Silo Baking Company, which we heard has fabulous cupcakes, so we can't wait to check that out. There was a very long line for the bakery, but we couldn't pass it up without getting a cupcake. Turns out we would get the campfire cupcake, which was a seasonal special. Because it's made here, and it started here. There's a Dr. Pepper museum, and the water you'll see has the name on it, Magnolia bottled water.
So what are we supposed to do now? Wait for him where? His coffee. I guess for this break outside.
And the cupcake did not disappoint. It turned out to be absolutely fabulous. I would say get a fork though, because it was pretty messy because it's so tall trying to eat it without a fork. But the elderberry lemonade that we bought with it was also excellent as well. We left Magnolia Market and drove to Katy, Texas, where we had requested a Boondocker's welcome spot in order to spend the night. Along the way, we made a few stops, including Payway for dinner and a little market where we grabbed some t-shirts. Boondocker's welcome didn't come through, so we're kind of in town without a place to go. So we're going to have to go park in a parking lot, so we decided to come find a place to drink first. It is cold in here, but it looks cool. The next day, we left our boondocking spot in Katy and drove to Pinkerton's BBQ in downtown Houston. We heard this was another great barbecue place. Pinkerton's BBQ has been featured on the Travel Channel, Food Network, and Cooking Channel. In 2021, Pinkerton expanded, opening his second location in downtown San Antonio. But here we were at the original location, so we had high expectations, especially after eating a fabulous meal at Franklin BBQ yesterday. We arrived shortly before they opened, and there was really virtually no line. I ordered the lean brisket sandwich again, and Chuck ordered another combination meat plate. We both got the smoked sausage and duck jambalaya as a side, and it was really, really good. But I have to say, I was pretty disappointed in the barbecue sauce. I don't like mustard kind of barbecue, and it was kind of mustardy. The van is here. It was not near as good. I mean, it was okay. Not my favorite. We left Pinkerton's a bit disappointed and drove to Rutherford Beach, Texas. This was going to be our first time boondocking on the beach, so we were really excited. And we just realized we have to take a ferry going in the way we were going here. It looks like white capping, so hopefully it's not bad on the ferry. That just looks so scary. I can't imagine a hurricane coming through. This is so cool. Thank you. It's pretty cool, our first ferry ride. And it was free. And we didn't even know we were going. Made it to the beach, but the waves are raging. Coastal flooding running out. Hour to low tide. So while the beach was absolutely beautiful, and we had it all to ourselves practically. Clearly there was a lot of low-lying area around us. It was super windy with the storm approaching. So we had already decided it probably wasn't a good idea to stay here. In fact, as we left, the police had arrived to block the beach off. So we had decided to go inland to Lake Charles. There was a nice lake there where we thought we could boondock for the night. At the lake, we found a nice place to park. And I will say the lake was beautiful, but I don't know that it was really the safest area. It's not really a place that we would go back to again, even though it was fine for the one night. In the next video, as we continue to work our way home, we visit an oil rig, which turns out to be super educational and very awesome. Then we drive the Mississippi coast, where there happens to be an annual car show going on. And we finally make our way all the way home to Florida.